Hello and welcome to the instruction video on the IDH Salary Matrix V.2. My name is Honor Johnson, and today I will be walking you through a brief history of the tool, description of its purpose, and where to download it, as well as an overview of which data you must have on hand before getting started. Then we will walk through an example using the tool, and finally I will show you how to interpret the results. Si está interesado en escuchar este video en español, visite nuestro sitio de web. As part of Step 2 of the IDH Roadmap on Living Wages, we have developed this tool for calculating current remuneration and possible living wage gaps at the production level. When you open the salary matrix, you will first see this page on the Cover tab. Here you will see a list of information which you should have available before getting started. This includes the facility information, such as the location, the production, and the season timing. For the job categories, you will need a list of all work areas, all job categories, and the number of men and women in each job category. For the wages and bonuses, you will need the seasonal unit and rate at which each job category is paid, as well as the average bonus amount per job category, all in gross values. For the in-kind benefits, you should know the amount spent by the company to provide these in-kind benefits, as well as the number of workers who receive such in-kind benefits. For any additional questions, feel free to email us at livingwagematrix@idhtrade.org. Throughout the tool, you will also notice that blue boxes indicate comments with further details that should assist you in entering the correct data. Please read these carefully. Also, yellow cells indicate cells for data to be entered, and green cells indicate where results can be found. Once you have carefully read the Cover tab, you can next move to the facility information. Here you can enter the information about the location, production, and seasonal timing. On the Job Categories tab, you can name all of the work areas and job categories in the facility. On the next tab, the number of men and women per job category can be entered. On the tab labeled Wages per Season, you can enter the wages for all the seasons in the facility. On the next tab, you can enter all of the information about which in-kind benefits are provided and the cost for the employer to provide such benefits. In the final tab for data entry, in-kind benefits 2, you can select which job categories receive which in-kind benefits. Finally, the last tab will show you the results. Once you have downloaded the English Salary Matrix V.2 from our website and you open it, you will see here the instructions on the Cover tab. Once you've carefully read the Cover tab, you can move to the Facility Information tab. On this tab, you will see a number of categories, starting with Contact Information. Under Contact Information, you can enter the name, the person who's filling out the salary matrix, phone number, and an email where you can be reached. Under Location Information, you can enter the country, region, the GPS point, and the area of production. Under Country, it's important to select the proper country from the list. In this case, we will use the country Ecuador. Under Region, Location, and Area of Production, just enter the correct data. For area of production, make sure to enter the amount in hectares. For production information, in this case, we will be talking about bananas, and the variety of bananas is called Cavendish. When we're talking about units of production, this is the units used to measure the total production, in this case, kilograms. The total annual production measured in kilograms is about 40,000 kilograms per year. Certifications and standard, in this example, we will have none, and the year of data collection will be 2019. It's important to know that the year for which you're entering, the year for data collection, should be the same year for which all wages, bonuses, and in-kind benefits are entered. Next section, number of production seasons, indicate up to 4 seasons. In this case, in the banana sector, we have 2 seasons. Then we will be asked about seasonal information. Here we will select either months or weeks, and those months or weeks will determine the length of the season. In this case, we can enter months and have season 1 beginning in January. In this particular location, the length of season 1 is 3 months long, which means season 2 will begin in April. And the length of season 2 will be 9 months. Once we've completed all the yellow boxes in this tab, we can move to the next tab called Job Categories. It's important to note and read the blue box, which here says that the seasons refer to the times of the year where the level of production increases or decreases, such as high or low season. The number of seasons indicated here will also determine the number of seasons for which the wage information must be entered. If there are no seasons, just enter the number 1. Then we can move on to job categories. Once we click the Job Categories tab, you will see that the local currency has appeared here. If the local currency is incorrect, or you would like to enter the data in a different currency, just change the currency in this box. From here, we will be prompted to enter in work areas. For this example, we will use 3 work areas, but up to 4 work areas can be included. In this case, the first work area is the field. In the field, we have 2 job categories. In this salary matrix, you can enter up to 10 job categories per work area, but in this case, we will only have 2 in the field. The job categories in the field will be called Field Worker 1 and Field Worker 2. It's important here to make sure we read the blue boxes. In this case, it further defines how we can understand what a job category is and who can be included in it. Important to know that only 10% of the total number of workers can be included in any one job category, and an additional job category can be added if needed. All temporary and informal workers must be included. The second work area will be the packing plant. In the packing plant, we have 2 job categories, for example, cleaner and packers. Cleaners and packers. And the third work area will be the office. In the office, we have administrator and assistant. Once we've entered in all the work areas and all the job category names in each work area, we can move to the next tab called Number of Workers. On the Number of Workers tab, here you can enter the number of men and women per job category. You will see the job categories that you've entered previously in this column here, as well as for every work area that you've entered. So here we see field, our first work area, packing plant, our second work area, and office, our third. In this case, just to fill out the example, we will have 5 men and 5 women in the Field Worker 1 category, and 3 men and 3 women in the Field Worker 2 category. For the cleaners, we will have 2 men and 2 women. Packers, we have 3 men and 2 women. Administrators, there are no men, so we can just leave this blank. And under women, we'll enter 1 administrator and 1 male assistant. It's important to fill in the data differentiated between men and women, as this will provide good gender disaggregated results. Once we are done entering the number of workers, both men and women, on this tab, we can move to the Wages per Season tab. In the Wages per Season tab, we will start by entering the bonuses. Here you will see in the very left side of the table, the yearly bonuses in the blue column. It's important to note that bonuses must be expected in advance and not at the discretion of the employer. Bonuses such as 13th and 14th month bonus, 10-year bonus, holiday bonus can be included in the categories listed here. Any bonuses related to profit sharing are not included. For this example, we will indicate that most workers have a 13th or 14th month bonus. In this case, they all have a $500 yearly bonus here. This is a 13th and 14th month payment, which is paid once a year, which makes it a yearly bonus. Those are for the field workers. And then we can scroll down to our next work area where we see the cleaners. They receive a 600 yearly bonus. We can scroll down to our last work area of the office, and here they receive a 700 yearly bonus. Assistant doesn't receive a bonus. In this case, it's important to follow the correct row. So you may see here that 700 as the 13th or 14th month bonus is aligned with women and the number 1 here. You can also enter in other bonuses in the other category, and in the gray category, you will see the total bonuses received for year. For example, if we give a productivity bonus, performance bonus to both the field workers, we can say that this is about $100 a year, and you will see this sum total being added in this column. Once you have filled out yearly bonuses for all job categories and all work areas, you can move to the right, where you can enter in the season 1 wages. In the season 1 wages, in the green category, you will see a number of columns. Unit is the first column. The unit of work is the object for which a worker is paid. For example, some workers are paid by number of shirts they iron or number of boxes of bananas that they pack. In this case, the unit would be either shirt or box. So in this case, we can write box. Other workers may be paid by hour or day. You can enter the word hour or day here without disrupting formulas. So in the next column, we will see the amount paid per unit. So the amount paid per unit would be equivalent to the amount that is paid per box. So for in this example that you see here in gray, we see that the workers are being paid 15 USD per box. So for the example that I'm completing here, these workers are field workers and they are paid by bunch of bananas. So we can enter the word bunch for all of these workers. The amount paid per unit differs per job category. So in this case, field worker 1 are paid $1 per job category, both men and women, and the field worker 2 are paid $1.25 per job category. So here we can enter those values. Next column is talking about the average units completed per day. So in this case, it's the average number of bunches of bananas that are picked per day. And for this example, we will say 10 bunches are picked for field workers 1, and about 12 are picked for field workers 2. And it's very important to fill in the last 2 columns. The last 2 columns include the average hours worked per day and the average hours worked per week. For this example, all of these workers are working about 8 hours per day and 48 hours per week. Then we can scroll down to the work area 2 and enter in the payment for season 1 for the packing plant. For this example, the cleaners and packers are both paid by box, so we will enter the word box here. And the amount paid by unit is $1.75 for the cleaners and $2 for the packers. The average units completed per day for the cleaners is 20 for both men and women, and for the packers it's 22. And the average hours worked per day stays the same. It's about 8 hours per day and 48 hours per week. And for the last category, the work area of office, the administrator and assistant are both paid in a time unit. So the female administrator is paid per month, and they're paid $1,500 per month. They work 8 hours a day, about 50 hours a week. And you will see that because the unit is a time value, such as month or day, you will notice that the average units completed per day is automatically turned gray. There is no need to edit this cell once it turns gray. The assistant is paid per day and is paid $500 per day. And for this example, they work 8 hours a day, they only work about half time, so 24 hours in a week. So for this example, then once we've completed season 1 wages, we can move on to the season 2 wages. It's very important to complete all of the columns. However, if workers are not working during this second season, there's no need to enter data in that row. So for this example, field workers 1 are not employed during season 2, so we do not need to fill in this row here. However, the field workers 2 job category is employed, so we will enter in the data for field workers 2. For this example, I will just copy in data. You can see that they're actually doing a lower number of units per day than season 1, and they're working the same amount of hours. For the next work area, we will also see that the cleaners are no longer working, but the packers are still working. So cleaners rows will be blank, and the packers will be entered here. You can see actually their work amounts, units, and average units completed per day are the same, as well as average hours worked per day and average hours worked per week. For the work area of office, we no longer employ the assistant for the season 2, but we will keep the administrator here and paste the data like this. And you will see that the administrator is no longer working 50 hours per week, but is down to 48 and is paid the same amount per month. For your example, of course, you can enter in as much data on wages and bonuses as you have per job category. And it's important to note that for each additional season, you will see additional columns created here where you can enter the data in for the additional seasons. It's important to make sure all the data is entered in the proper row. And if you see errors on the results tab, this might be the reason. So good to double check that all the data here is entered for the correct job category as well as the correct gender. Once we have completed all of the wage data in this tab, we can move on to the next tab called In-Kind Benefits 1. On this tab, you will see a list of possible in-kind benefits listed on the left. Here you will see food, transportation, housing, healthcare, children's education, childcare, and other. For this example, we will complete the in-kind benefit called food. It's important to note that all in-kind benefits must be accepted by workers as being valuable, directly reduce the cost of basic living for a worker, provided during regular working hours, regularly provided, and expected in advance, and they may not be mandatory by law. If workers contribute to these in-kind benefits or pay a small amount, subtract this amount from the cost of providing the in-kind benefit. Over here, you will see the more specific regulations about the individual in-kind benefits. For example, food must be regularly provided, and sporadically given farm produce may not be included. Meals should be balanced, follow local international nutrition guidance, and the value of snacks and water is not included. For this example, we will start by entering the yellow cell here and select from the drop-down menu, yes. In this example, we do have workers who receive food as an in-kind benefit. Next row is asking the number of workers who receive this food. In this example, we will enter 25. Here you will see the monthly cost to the employer for providing the food per worker. If this value is not known quickly, you may refer to the column over here on the right, which helps support this calculation. So for this example, we can enter the monthly itemized food costs, the item costs, and the number of items. So for example, if we have a weekly food delivery, we will put the word food delivery here. And this costs $80 per delivery, and we have 4 per month. And we also have a chef. We can enter the word chef here. The chef is paid $175 per month, and there's only 1. So here you can see on the right, it's calculating the total cost of providing the in-kind benefit to all the workers per month. And over here, you will see an automatic division of that value divided by the number of workers per month. If you already know this value, of course, you can enter it right here in the yellow box. The next question is whether or not workers have the choice to receive the cash value instead of the in-kind benefit. In this case, we can say yes, and we can enter that value here, $15. So in this case, workers who choose not to collect food from the canteen will receive 15 extra US dollars per month. We'll also fill out the example for transportation. We will say yes. And there are 3 workers who receive transportation per month. And because I already know the cost of providing this in-kind benefit per worker per month, I can enter the value of 10 here. And in this case, workers do not have the choice to receive cash value instead of transportation, so I will select no. It's important to always read the blue bubbles. Here we will see the specific requirements about transportation. Transportation must be safe and reliable and transport workers to and from work, as well as to and from town on weekends. Once we are done entering all the specifications for all the in-kind benefits, in this case, there are no more in-kind benefits provided at this facility, we can move to the next tab. It is also important to notice there is an extra box listed here where you may provide other details about other in-kind benefits that are provided. Feel free to include any and all in-kind benefits that are not listed above. When we're done, we can move to the In-Kind Benefits 2 tab. Here we will see again the list of job categories, work areas, number of men and women, and total workers that we have previously entered. We will also see columns for every in-kind benefit we have listed as being available at the facility. In this case, food is the first in-kind benefit, and we will select yes for all the workers who receive this in-kind benefit. Because I selected that there were 27 workers who received this in-kind benefit, and there are 27 workers on the plantation in the facility, we will select yes for all the workers. Again, it is important to select the proper answer in the correct row. So if you are noticing errors in the results tab, you may find that you have selected maybe yes, while there is actually no worker in this specific row. It's important to check this, and you can always just move this to select one or delete the answer in this row. Once we've completed the first in-kind benefit, we can move to the second one, transportation. If you remember, we have 3 workers who receive transportation. In this case, we only need to put yes for the people who actually receive it. So in this case, it is field workers 2, who are women who receive the in-kind benefit of transportation. No one else receives the in-kind benefit of transportation, so we can leave these all blank. Once we are done filling in the answers for in-kind benefits 2 tab, we can move to the final results tab. On the results tab here, you will see 2 last yellow boxes. Here you want to enter the living wage benchmark methodology you would like to compare wages against. We recommend the use of living wage benchmarks which use the Anchor methodology, as well as those recognized by IDH on our website. Link is provided here. Here you should enter the gross living wage in the same currency as wages are recorded. If there is no recognized living wage benchmark in your region, you may temporarily estimate an appropriate amount. For this case, I will use an example from the Global Living Wage Coalition, and we will, just for an example, put 500 US dollars here. Once we complete the living wage benchmark, we will see the living wage gap is calculated for all the workers in the plantation. Again, these workers are divided by the specific work areas. You will also see the results listed here in green that are the same as were entered on the Facility Information tab. And then under Table 2, you will see summary results. So here again, you will see the listed living wage benchmark source, the amount, the currency, total number of workers in the facility, as well as a number of results listed here. The third table will show results disaggregated by gender, so the total number of men, total number of women, and the resulting gaps specific to each gender. The fourth table shows the detailed results as well as the job category, number of workers, monthly in-kind benefits, bonuses, monthly wages, as well as the total remuneration and the living wage gap for every job category. All results are summarized in the 4 tables that you see here. But if you would like to see a complete visualization of these results, similar to the graph below, please email IDH at the living wage matrix at idhtrade.org. So once we have completed that example, we can show what it would look like in a chart like this. Here you will see a summary of the details about the facility, the number of employees, number of workers who are below the living wage gap, average size of the gap, the average percent of total wages paid in in-kind benefits, and the range of gaps. So when we look at the chart, on the x-axis we will see the different job categories, both men and women. On the y-axis we can see the total remuneration in US dollars per month. The darkest category we will see is salary, the next category is bonuses, and the third is in-kind benefits. We can also see which workers are being paid below the living wage by looking at those colored red. You can see the typical living wage gap, lowest living wage gap here, as well as the smallest living wage gap here. The horizontal line indicates the living wage benchmark used, and in this example it was $500 per month. In summary, we can see that 30% of workers are earning more than the living wage. If you would like a graph like this created for your results, feel free to visit our website for more information. On our website, you will see more information about how do we achieve a living wage, the various publications and webinars that we have going on at IDH, and a few international conferences that we are a part of. For any additional questions, you may reach out to us at livingwagematrix@idhtrade.org.